Okay, so here we have our latest completed build. This is a 2005 E4 gem. So this is the Generation 2 model. It's one of the early versions of the Generation 2 model. So is right when they converted them over to the dual wishbone suspension, the front disc brakes, and the rear four link. This one has the T3 controller that is spaced with cooling fins. And you can notice also that this one has the tail lights in the rear upper behind the back seat. That was exclusive only to the 05 model or the lower year models like 04 and down to 99. But the 05 was the last year that they put them up in the upper pillar up here. I actually disconnected those and they have no function at all because I converted everything to LED. So if you look down here, we have the LED tail lights in the rear lower fender, just like all the newer version E4s, or I should say any gem gets pretty much, Generation 2s. And then we added our rear upper pillar tail lights here. So you can see that in function when the light is on. You can see how we have the lower lights down there and then the upper lights up there. And that just is, you know, I've explained this in pretty much every video that I put out, but you know, when you're in a big truck, like I have a big lifted Silverado, you know, someone comes up behind you in a Suburban or a F-150 or something and their hoods are way up high like that, you don't really see those lower lights. So that's why I always add those upper pillar tail lights like that. And I was going to keep the keep these functional, but I did not want to convert those to LED also. It just seemed like it was just too much lighting to do that. So I just did the lowers with the uppers, and everything functions on one switch. All, you know, it's all clean and simple that way. Also just added our new LED license plate light down there with our EV Designs tinted smoke plate cover. This car, we shot the entire car in jet black. So it's just a gloss jet black paint job. Kind of hard to see. You know, you can see how liquid jet black it is. We did the seats in just black marine grade material, and then we just did like the basic diamonds like we do on most of our cars with the black piping. So the idea on this car was to make it 100% murdered out. So everything on this car is black. All the trim seals, every body bolt, I mean, if you even look at the screws that hold the mirrors in, I mean, every single thing is blacked out. Blacked out column, blacked out steering wheel cover, the gauge cluster, even the bolts up here that hold the mirror, and every single thing on this car is blacked out. You won't find any chrome of any sort anywhere on this car. I spent a lot of time making sure that it was fully murdered out. I guess the only thing you could really say if you really wanted to is that there's little like machine grommets that kind of go around the wheels, and that's pretty much the only thing that is not chrome. I mean, I'm sorry, that is not black and kind of emulates a chrome look, if you want to call it that. But to me, I think it looks awesome. I really like the car overall. So full gloss black paint, you know, the black diamond upholstery, the black 14-inch mods. These are the gloss black wheels. I'm sorry, these are not 14s, these are 15-inch wheels. My bad. Yeah, we upgraded and went to the bigger 15s on this just to kind of give it a little sexier look. Most of the time we go with the 14s, but on this one here I did the 2310 15s just to make it a little different and give it a little bit more of a pop. Another thing is I did our 6-inch EV Designs lift kit with our widened and extended wheelbase. We never put those lift kits on our gems, so all of our lift kits are done by hand. I'm a real stickler about the poke on the wheels, and if you notice here, the tires stick out about 2 inches from the fender edge, which is the exact same in the front. You'll notice the same thing over here on this side. Perfectly dialed in, front to rear. Everything is level, everything is perfectly centered, and you can see how we built our rear drop axle. This whole thing is what we do when we do our lifts. So this whole thing is a new drop axle, and you can see how much wider the normal hub used to be mounted to this plate right here. So you can see how we dropped it and widened it. This one went 3 3¼ of an inch to the right, 3 1/4 of an inch to the left. And then we also kicked it back 1.5 inches. So if you just did one of those regular lift kits that you buy, all that really does is just roll the axle down, which kind of pushes the tire under the car. So when you do it like that, it has a real goofy look where the tire is kind of like shoved up under the car here. And then the same thing in the front, where the front tires are kind of pushed back where they get real close to this inner edge here. So for almost 25 years now, I've been doing our lift kits the exact same way. And if you notice, when you look at that, the tire is perfectly centered inside the fender well. So it's not too far to the front, not too far to the rear. It's perfectly centered all the way around. And that's just, a lot of people just probably don't even really care about that. It's just the little details like that that drive me nuts. When I look at a car, sometimes I'll be like, why does it look like that? It doesn't look right. I really try to emphasize making sure that our cars are straight and correct and level and drive properly, all that kind of stuff. So that's that. We also did our 4-speaker Sony Bluetooth sound system. And this is all hooked up through, there's an auxiliary battery that's hidden up under the dash right here, like a motorcycle battery. So when you turn that on, that activates the power to the stereo. I'm gonna turn that off so the Bluetooth doesn't connect. And then once you flick this switch on, it just literally plays right directly from your phone through Bluetooth. So you have your front 6.5-inch speakers, and then the rear 6x9s in the back, and it sounds amazing. More than enough sound than you would ever need in an open golf cart like this, in my opinion. Down here, we did our multicolored interior and underbody LED lights. So once you flick that switch on, that activates the power to the car. To the LED lights, and it's under the car, inside the car. And then there's a remote control. Once you flick that switch on, I don't even know where the remote is, it's in our shop somewhere, but you turn it to red or blue or green or orange. You can make it dance to the music, do flashing, blinking mode or whatever. I always just think blue looks the best, so I just keep them in blue. So that's kind of why it looks like that, but easily changeable. And then on this particular car, I wanted to just do something a little different. I always try to, I've done literally in the thousands of these cars now that over the years. I always like to do something a little different, something that maybe none of the other ones have. And this is literally the first time I've ever done this. But if you notice way down at the bottom there on the sides, you'll see those 2 little dots. And then obviously the same on this side. So there's 2 little dots down there, and those are running lights. So what I did is I activated that, and I hooked up a separate switch that goes to that, and that activates those 2 side running lights. So in the dead of night, I intentionally used a voltage reducer and dimmed them so they're a little bit dimmer, how they are right there. They don't look like a lot right now, but in the middle of the nighttime when it's pitch black out, you will absolutely see those. It's kind of like the lights going down the side of like a pickup truck or a dually or something like that. Real cool idea. This is something that I've never done before, and I just literally was just looking at the car, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna put lights down there. So that's kind of what we did. I also went with a different LED headlight this time. I normally do a very specific style, black optics LED headlight. I went with a different light on this just to try it out, something different. It has these white upper ring down here that's kind of like a glow light, and then the inner lights there, and they are just as bright as the other lights that we use. You can kind of see here when you turn on the ignition, you see how bright they are, lights up. Actually, it looks like that one needs to be adjusted. I got to raise it up, but they have a really cool look to them. A little different than the other style that we have gone with for years, actually, but super bright and very cool looking. Even when they're off, they look cool. But when you have those on with the side running lights there and the interior glow lights, this thing is badass going down the road. It has a really cool look. So that is that. Also, we did our oversized exterior rear view mirrors here, and then our 4-panel wide interior rear view mirror, which I do on all the cars. This car, you can see the dust up here still. Brand new, literally brand new. I just put that moonroof in, so that's just like residue from when we cut the glass. So brand new smoke tinted moonroof, and has our EV Designs low profile roof rack up there, smoke tinted lenses. Did our brand new charge port up here, so you just simply plug that in and good to go. This car has brand new, just put them in like 2 days ago. the gel batteries. So it has a Group 31 sealed, maintenance-free gel batteries, and they have a 1-year warranty. You can leave those batteries in the car, or if someone would like to upgrade to lithium, we can absolutely do that, do an upgraded lithium conversion. I'm offering this one with the batteries the way it is, and if someone wants to upgrade, then we can do that. Also, if you look closely here on the side, you'll see that there's an additional charger that's mounted down here. This charger charges the auxiliary battery, which is hidden up in the dash. And then the normal Delta Q charger, which is up under there, charges the car's batteries. So everything is tied together in one charge port. So you simply just plug in your extension cord like you would do any other gem car, and both of the chargers turn on at the same time. And one system gets charged and the other system gets charged, all by simply plugging in that front charge port. So it's kind of a cool idea. And the reason that I did the auxiliary battery is just so that if you are in a situation like right here, you know, you pull up to there's a lake right there, pull up to the grass, you're like, hey, we're gonna go hang out and picnic and, you know, blast some music and, you know, do whatever you want to do with the family or whatever, or go to a soccer game or whatever it might be. You can turn that sound system on and the LED lights and whatever you want without having to keep the ignition of the car on, and that battery will last hours and hours and hours of music. So if you want to just crank the music for a few hours, then when you get back home and you're done, you just plug it in and that system charges, and so does the car's batteries charge as well. So brand new batteries. This car has the OEM 5 horsepower motor, and we did our EV design speed chip. So this one will run about 32 to 35-ish, right around there. We could obviously do the upgraded motor if someone wants to do that, but it's really, a lot of our customers recently have just not really needed the bigger motor. These things run, 32 to 35 is plenty fast enough. However, if someone wants to do that, we can definitely do it. New front carbon fiber grills. Again, every single bolt on the entire car is blacked out. Even the bolts up here for the charge port, blacked out, blacked out, blacked out. Every single body bolt going down the side of the car is blacked out all the way around. Brand new seat belts. So we did our low profile retractable seat belts like we do on all of our cars for the most part. So that's that. And we shot the inside of the trunk in the black Line-X material. So you can kind of see how it has like that black kind of Line-X look. New trunk lock. And I'm trying to think what else. I'm probably forgetting a few things, but oh yeah, new floor mats. So we just did the front and rear floor mats. Pretty cool. This car is just literally off right out of the oven. I mean, we just finished this car today and got the detailers over and cleaned it all up, and she's ready to go. So if anybody is interested or has any additional questions, just give us a call anytime. And you can check us out at Elevate Designs, EV Designs. Go to any search engine and just type in custom gem cars, and we're the first page that comes up. Thank you for checking it out.